What's up, everybody? This is Mr. 100K a day, and today in boxing news, we're going to be talking about the boxing match between Claressa Shields, aka the GWOT, and Lani Daniels of New Zealand. Now, this fight takes place on the 26th of July, 2025, in less than 36 hours. And Mr. 100K a day is here to tell y'all, do not bet on this fight for multiple reasons. Number one, the odds are very much in Claressa Shields' favor. You know, she's a minus 5,000 right now, and if Lani wins, Miss Daniels wins, she's a plus 1,300. So these odds are completely ridiculous. Though that means that you would have to bet $5,000 just to win $100 when betting on Claressa Shields. That's a completely unreasonable fight, completely unreasonable odds. And this fight clearly, according to the odds makers, is not evenly matched. Now, I'm not a big fan of Claressa Shields myself for multiple reasons. And other reasons, I am a fan of hers. I'm a fan of hers because she's hardcore. She's willing to take on all challengers. She recently issued a challenge to Layla Ali to stop the nonsense, to stop the talk. Here's $15 million put up and show me that you're the best. Show me that you can knock me out like you have previously said in interviews. Layla Ali, of course, is yet to respond to that offer. But the thing that I like most about her is the fact that she takes challenges heads on. Now, I personally believe she should have went to MMA. She should have focused on MMA because they celebrate women combat sports a lot more than boxing does. Boxing is very small pool. You can't be the greatest of all time with 14, 15 fights, if that, on your professional record. And because a man would never be able to have 14, 15 fights and be the greatest of all time. And not only just that, you know, I just feel like women's boxing sucks. Basically sucks. MMA, if you look at the likes of Ronda Rousey, Amanda Nunes, they go out the way to promote women combat fighters. Hands down. Right now, if she was in MMA, mixed martial arts, UFC, if she was knocking girls out, kicking girls in the face, wrestling them to the ground, making them tap out, bringing her boxing skills and adding other skills to it, she would be hands down the best women's combat fighter of all time. That's what she should pursue, not boxing with a very small pool, limited money, limited access, limited fans. Mixed martial arts will open her up to so much more opportunity, business, partnerships, sponsorships, and anything else that she would want out of life. But that's a different story. So here we are. She's fighting Lani Daniels, who is definitely not, or shouldn't be, a challenge to her. Lani Daniels has a horrible boxing record. Well, I don't say horrible. She's lost 2 times. She has 1 knockout on her record. And she just turned 37 years old. So this is a person who's definitely over the hill. Definitely over the hill. Maybe she's doing it for the money. Maybe because Claressa Shields just simply needed someone to fight. But at, her walking around weight is about 168 pounds. She's 5'7", 37 years old. I really do not believe that this is a fight that Claressa Shields really wanted. I don't think it's what she really wanted. I don't think it's something that she's really that's gonna move the needle for Claressa Shields. Now, when you look at Lani Daniels' resume, she was the first New Zealand-born boxer who became a 2-division world boxing champion. As a matter of fact, her line of descent is called Maori, which is, of course, an indigenous group, Polynesian group of the mainland of New Zealand. So, her bloodline is definitely something that gives her an edge, an aura in her native land. But I feel like she's just simply over the hill, and she is definitely fighting someone who probably going to mop the floor with her. So instead of betting on the money line for Claressa Shields' fight, and of course, like I just showed you guys, the money line on this fight has Claressa Shields at minus 5,000 and Lani Daniels is plus 1,300. This isn't something that a person would even dream of betting on. You wouldn't dream of that. It's not even something reasonable. The 3-way money line, which incorporates a tie into the wagers, has Claressa Shields at minus 2,000, Lani Daniels at plus 1,300, and the tie, which will be a draw, at plus 1,500. So I personally don't feel like, none of those wagers are actually worth it. The more interesting approach would be what method of victory would this fight go down as? Now, those offer much more compelling odds and something I feel like may be worth taking a risk on. Now, they have Claressa Shields for a KO, TKO, or winning by disqualification of Lani Daniels. They have her as plus 143. Claressa Shields by decision at minus 182. A tie at plus 1,300. Lani Daniels by TKO. That's meaning Lani Daniels winning by TKO, KO, or DQ at plus 2,800. Or Lani Daniels by decision at plus 1,800. Me personally, knowing what I know about this fight, knowing what I've seen, knowing about the records of these young women, I definitely would go for Claressa Shields winning by KO. Now, the problem is Claressa Shields doesn't really knock people out. She doesn't. So I would probably switch my decision or have a couple bets out there and parlay it where Claressa Shields probably is going to win by decision. But the KO is still out there because she could definitely stop her. So, in the end, minus 182 odds for Claressa Shields getting a decision is a reasonable payout if you parlay it with something else that that's probably going to be a lock. So you can at least double your money. So that's just how I feel about the odds and the wagers as far as they go, because I'm not really liking the matchup. Fights that are more evenly matched have much better payouts. This is definitely going to be, or should be, a lopsided fight, but anything's happened. We've seen 40-1 odds, guys winning, like the Buster Douglas fight and the Mike Tyson fight from 1990. So things are definitely possible, but it's definitely not probable. Now, just a week or two ago, we saw Alicia Baumgardner fight. Of course, she got the win, and I really think Alicia Baumgardner could be the face of women's boxing. She's attractive, she's entertaining, she's not a nasty person outside of the ring. When she's discussing boxing, she has a smile on her face. She always seems happy. You don't get that same vibe with Claressa, and that's why I think Claressa is not necessarily the most marketing friendly person. I know Alicia Baumgardner and Claressa Shields. That fight at 147 would be a great fight. I think Claressa Shields is a little big, a little heavy. She had to come down a lot of weight, like knock off like nearly 30 pounds. Alicia Baumgardner had to go up maybe 10 or 15 pounds. But I still think that probably is the most attractive fight outside of the Claressa Shields and Layla Lee fight. But you have some other fights too in the featherweight category that we won't discuss right now. But watching Alicia Baumgardner, the way she entertains, the way she talks, that would definitely be a very attractive contest to see her with Claressa. So, in the end, I probably won't bet on this fight. I probably won't, because I don't really feel like the odds are worth it. I'm not really a big Claressa Shields fan, like I said, because I don't like her marketability. I don't like the way she talks outside of the ring. She talks very negative. She doesn't come off as beautiful and happy. Like when you see women fighters for some reason, or even women athletes, we want to see them be beauties and just be women outside of the contest. Now, in promo and other things, go ahead and be what you got to be. Be aggressive, talk your trash, be that person. But when you're coming off as ugly and angry all the time outside of the ring in your interviews, you rarely have a smile on your face. It's a turnoff, in my opinion. Even turn off to the general public. A lot of people just have a thing where they just want to call Claressa Shields just unattractive. The U word, ugly. And they do that to a lot of dark-skinned women in sports and in general. But I think hers definitely applies because of the way she projects herself and her attitude. Now, I could be wrong. Tell me what you guys think. Because that's just my personal opinion. And I know for a fact she'd be a lot bigger if she went into mixed martial arts, regardless of her skin color. If she went into mixed martial arts, knocking women out and doing the things that she claims to be in boxing, then there would be. And she keeps calling herself the GWOT. It's not very difficult to be the GWOT when you only have had 15 fights, 14 fights. It's just something that I believe is completely completely silly for her to go around and walk around with a chain on her neck saying, I'm the GWOT. It just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me at all. Let other people call you the GWOT. You know, she trying to do what Muhammad Ali did. But I just really feel like that in her particular case, since, like I said, she only has had, 16 professional fights. She's only knocked 3 people out. 3. You know, you can't call yourself a GWOT with just 16 fights because a man couldn't do it. Women want to be treated equal until it's time to be treated equal. And no man in any sport, well, definitely not boxing, can have 16 fights and be considered the greatest of all time. How many fights Floyd Mayweather had to have? Muhammad Ali had to have. How many times he had to win and lose his championship, Muhammad Ali, in order for you to really appreciate him? Anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comments. Are you guys going to bet on this fight? Or y'all going to watch it? Y'all going to pay attention to it? Y'all think she's the GWOT? Because I don't. Till next time, y'all. Mr. 100K a day. I'm out this joint. Peace.